Welcome back to episode 7, and we're up to part 3 of the ultimate 4x4 road trip, Dave. And mate, I am really enjoying the Sturt Steps, which New South Wales is actually doing. Some of the history, some of those locations they're going to are absolutely ripper. What do you want about?
You're going to vote for them, aren't you?
I am going to vote for them, at least at the moment.
New South Wales for the win.
purely because I've not done that trip, Sturt Steps, and I've done Fraser multiple times.
Okay, yeah, that's a fair call,
Yeah,
and it's something new, and that's the whole point of this, right?
That's
is
right.
we want people to vote for the challenge that they think, or the team, sorry, that they think is doing the best job of that challenge, and of the trip that interests them.
Absolutely, but right now, we're going to go and find out what New South Wales is up to.
So Borgie, this next place it's actually quite funny because around the campfire I have heard Jamie talk about this particular station quite a lot, and this is sort of the country he likes, so I think he's going to be a little bit jealous.
Yes, I too have heard him talk about this place, so I'm quite keen to get out here. Apparently there's some nice little four-wheel drive tracks through here.
Yeah, and some beautiful little campsites and sort of everything you'd expect from a station stay out here, so it could be good. We should take a few photos and send it back to Jamie, hey? Alright, we're turning in now, so lovely big look at the post box out the front. Isn't that beautiful?
Well, I suppose the postman's got a fairly large distance to cover between post boxes, so he's they've made it something special for him.
Richard and Sam are the owners of Mount Gipps Station, and they're first-generation sheep farmers.
So tonight we'll probably head up to the lookout, sunset, so you can sort of see full 360, across to Silverton, see the wind farm.
It's amazing that you head out to these stations and from the road they look like they're just sort of barren or flat. You know, you might see a hill in the distance, but when you actually get onto these properties, there's some incredible things to see.
This is my kind of country. Beautiful. Rocks, vistas. This whole gorge is just going to light up something unreal, something sensational tonight.
There are dedicated campsites throughout the property. You can choose a remote site or one that has access to amenities. With over 100,000 acres of land, you certainly won't be cramped.
So we've got a little bit of a treat today, and we're heading up to a spot where we're going to be able to watch the sunset with Richard and his family who own Mount Gipps. So look, I think this is one of those things where you appreciate just how amazing the country is, but also just these opportunities.
Exactly, and this is where local knowledge comes in. These guys obviously own the property, know where to go. But as soon as we rolled in today, they've gone, I've got a spot to show you, and it's got to be on sunset. So how awesome is that?
Bloody unreal. Amazing. Spectacular.
That is so nice.
But you know what I'm looking forward to the most? Sitting up on top of there, watching that sun dip over the landscape, a couple of crackers and maybe a beer or two. That's what the Outback is all about.
Definitely. I got the cheese in the back, so we're happy days.
Come pick me up in a month, would you?
The Mount Gipps Station is rich in history. In the 1870s, the famous Sid Kidman worked as a rouseabout here. Unfortunately, he was sacked when he asked for a pay rise. But as he ended up owning more land than the size of England, it's safe to say he landed on his feet. This is special country, and I can't think of anywhere else that I would rather be right now. And now, drum roll please, finally the delivery I've been waiting for. My new diff has turned up.
So this is Scott, our graphic designer, but he also likes to deliver diffs as well. He's come all the way from Sydney, so...
Oh, yep, that's the pin that I thought it was. that is extremely common for e-lockers to do that.
That was the noise that was being made as I went.
So this little screw is the result of everything. By that coming loose.
We knew something was broken up inside there, but now we know that it was the slide pin that gave out. This is a really uncomfortable and quite a heavy job to do without a hoist. So Nick, our cameraman, is giving me a helping hand. Alrighty, so that is the diff in. Just got to get the wheels on. Then we're going to go have a quick nap before we get back on the track, and hopefully I'm going to get further than about, not even 100 metres down a track.
Beautiful. I'm pretty excited to see this gorge this morning. Sam reckons it's pretty specky.
Yeah, mate, it's one of the beauties of speaking to the owners and the locals to come and find some of these classic spots. It sounds like it's going to be good.
Yeah, well, if it's anything like that sunset they took us up to, mate, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Poor Lee, she's she's going to miss out on this one.
After working late into the night on the cruiser, I've decided to catch up on a bit of beauty sleep. Have fun, boys.
Wow, this looks like it's the start of the gorge here, mate. Yeah, this is it here, mate. I'm just trying to work out where the track goes, but it looks like it goes right in the guts of this little valley here. Awesome.
That's a gorge, mate. That's definitely a gorge run.
She's a bumpy one. Yeah, this is my kind of driving. I love this stuff. I've got Mark here guiding me through. There goes my bumper. A little bit of rear locker going there, just to make sure I keep as much drive there as possible. This is technical driving. So the 80 got through, we all knew it would. Now Mark's going to bring the Mighty Prado through. Sounds of the bush going right here.
Borgie and Mark have reached a point where they can't drive any further, so they're out exploring on foot. Early morning is the best time for walking in these parts. Much later and you run into a real risk of dehydration.
You know, this place, it really is quite special. If you're ever around Mount Gipps, make sure you put it on the bucket list, stop in here and check it out yourself. You won't regret it. Hey Mark, that's a pretty big hill there, mate.
Yeah, she's a doozy, that one.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Probably not, but that hill looks like fun.
Race you to the top.
Yeah, righto, it's on.
I'm going up that left track, that looks harder. You ready, mate?
It's a hill, that's definitely a hill.
Countdown's on. 1, 2, 3, go. I'm on. Oh, this is definitely the rougher track. Lock her on. I'm going to take this a bit easy, actually. This is steep. Oh, wow. This is very, very rocky.
Prado power.
Oh. I think I'm in a little predicament here, mate. You want to either pop down and have a look, or maybe even bring your Prado back a little bit for me, please?
Yeah, mate, I'll just reverse her up and come and have a look.
Yeah, it doesn't feel really good. Every time I go forward, it wants to pick that left wheel up, and I'm a bit worried that she might want to keep going up.
Mate, until you admit that I won the race, I ain't coming to help.
You don't know how hard this is for me, but you did win this race. You've won it.
Mate, it looks like it's going to hold up, but what we'll do is we'll get the wind out and give you a
In
pull.
order to keep Mark's Prado on the flattest spot that we can find, the guys use a winch extension to connect Borgie's winch rope. It's going to take a little bit to pull the 80 out of the hole, so the Prado needs to be a sturdy anchor.
Mate, even though we're using dynamic rope, I'm going to put the dampener on it just to make sure we don't have any bad moments.
So what I'm going to do here is just drive very slowly with the winch, and that's the benefit of an auto. You don't have to give it too much. All right, mate, I feel like I'm out of that.
Hey, Borgie, you got a copy?
Yeah, gotcha, Lesh.
Awesome. When you guys are finished playing around, I've actually made some breakfast here for you.
Oh, you read my mind. We'll be down soon. Thank you.
So the cruiser's back on the road, Borgie's no longer stuck, so things are starting to look up.
And they're going to look up a whole lot more, because the cool thing about Mount Gipps Station is that property is littered with some really cool mining ruins.
Really?
So the owners, when we were there, actually told us that when they bought the property, they had no idea how much cool mining history there was. And in fact, their boys go out on the motorbikes, go out for an explore on their property, and every time come back with a cool new site.
That sounds like an adventure. Let's check it out.
Hey, Leash, I noticed you didn't get bogged on that bit of sand there. I bet you're pretty happy you're back in full drive, eh?
Yeah, it's nice to get more than like walking distance down a track.
Not gonna lie, it was pretty funny watching the front end just sink into a pit of sand there before. It was quite good to see.
Might have been funny from outside the car, but from inside the car it was a shake the head moment. But I'll change the Instagram back to forward drive, not two-wheel drive, eh?
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
It is a beautiful day to explore, and it feels so good to have the cruiser going again. We've stopped in at one of the many mine sites dotted around the place to check out the view.
So this is an old mining ruins here. Now, it was way back in the day that this was actually put together, but back in the 80s they did poke around here and have another look around. These days you can come out, have a bit of a look. There's still all these old relics around the place and some big mine shafts as well. So watch the kids and watch the dogs.
We've loved our time exploring Mount Gipps Station, but it's time for us to move on and head southwest to Silverton.
Alright guys, we'll go for a 1 hour ride. We'll head up to the back gate, we'll cross the creek, we'll head into the town of Silverton. We'll check out some of the old buildings and some of the history, and I'll give you a story of some of the old cameleers and the local history. So we'll load these guys from the back up.
This is the sort of effect that Mark's got on most people. Turns out camels are a pretty good judge of character. Please watch my head. Seriously.
She hasn't bitten anyone yet.
Okay, cool.
So did you know camels can run as fast as a racehorse?
Really?
Have you seen the camel races?
Yes.
Yeah.
These guys will do 60 k's an hour. Silverton's renowned for having camels. There's been camels here since the town was established in one form or another, whether it was back in the 1880s when they were building and supplying the town, or in the 1930s when they were doing rides out here at Penrose Park.
You know, Silverton, it's one of those historic towns you've just got to check it out. Go for a stroll. If you really want to connect with the town's history, this is the way to do it. I'm going to say it, it's more comfortable than the Land Cruiser.
So a lot of this town was bulldozed in the 60s. A lot of these ruins were deemed unsafe. So we're quite lucky to have the ones we've got still. So you know, a thirsty camel will drink a bathtub full of water in under 3 minutes.
All this talk about drinking has me wishing that we were making a pit stop at the Silverton Hotel.
Well, there you go, guys. We've been out in Silverton. We've been able to see all of the buildings that are out here. We've gone on a really cool little ride. Now, these guys also do sunset tours, which I think would be amazing out there with those buildings. If you're ever in Silverton, make sure you check them out. Come and say hey to these guys.
See that? That's a couple of good asses.
With the original pub first opening in 1884, the Silverton Hotel has become one of the most filmed hotels in Australia. As you walk around, you'll notice memorabilia from movies such as Mad Max 2, Razorback, A Town Like Alice, and plenty more.
Well, that's the end of our Outback road trip. And it's been hot, it's been dusty, but you know what? It's been bloody unreal.
That's right, Borgie, it has, and we've been able to follow in the footsteps of our explorers. We've met some amazing people along the way that have got a real connection with this land as well, and the explorers and, you know, what they did back then. So I think it's been a pretty ripper trip.
And guess what? We might have broke a car or two.
It's all part of every adventure, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. But if this confirms anything, it's that New South Wales is a ripper of a spot, especially Outback New South Wales, and I reckon it means New South Wales is a clear winner. Make sure you check out our socials and vote for it.
So what a fantastic ultimate 4x4 road trip that's been. Those 3 episodes.
Now look, let's look at New South Wales, right? We kicked off in White Cliffs, which is a cool little place. We headed out to Milparinga, right up to Cameron Corner, back down around out to a couple of really great station stays where we got to learn all about their backyards, these places that these owners call home. And that was really cool.
It really was cool. Now, put aside my biases and my carry-on. At the end of the day, look guys, we want you to head on over to the website and vote for the challenge that you believe wins, because at the end of the day, that's what really does matter.
That is what matters. So head to the website, check it out, but before you do that, sit back and take a look at the cool stuff we've got coming up next week.
Next week on the Off-Road Adventure Show, the challenge has been set to find somewhere that's a little off the beaten track. Now this doesn't have to be remote, it just has to be a place that not all that many people go. Queensland are heading to a region called the Sandstone Wonders. Isla Gorge, a convict road, bridges built by prisoners of war. Have you heard of this spot? We hadn't. Plus, Jess gets to put her Jillaroo skills to the test at Myella Station. In New South Wales, Borgie and Leash are kicking off not that far out of Sydney. After having their fill of jungle juice, they're heading through the Yango National Park on their way to one of the greatest four-wheel drive parks Sydney has to offer, TJ's. Not only is there great four-wheel driving, but Leash has something planned that will really get the adrenaline pumping. Tune in next week to see all the action. The Off-Road Adventure Show is proudly brought to you by Signature Camper Trailers, Opposite Lock, GME and Tough Dog. Do you want to see all the extra content? Head over to the Off-Road Adventure Show website where you'll find our recipes, director's cuts, and all the bonus bits. Plus, don't forget to enter our competition, where you could win a camper trailer.